Hi, everybody. I know that you have a lot of writing projects on your plate at the moment. November 15th, this Sunday, your second draft of your informative essay is due. November 22nd, the third draft of your observation essay is due, along with a revision self analysis. The last thing you need on your plate is knowing that you have a 5 to 6 page double spaced paper on the horizon. But what to do during this week talks about the portfolio, so we must talk about your final, which is the portfolio, which will be due on December 9th. Now, the first draft will be due December 4th, and you have peer review. The second draft will be due December 9th. You do not get a third draft on this one. Do not fret though, because unlike the other ones that are graded holistically, this one has a very strict rubric that will follow. And also, this actually isn't that bad of an essay. So let's look at it. Let's talk about the final, the reflective introduction argument in the portfolio assembly. So what? All right. So it's a little bit confusing because when a portfolio is a collection of work, you already have that with your literacy narrative, your informative essay, and your observation essay. All three of those are your collection of work. You're going to write an introduction for this, where you're going to introduce your portfolio and talk about how you grew as a writer, and that's what this final is about. So the assignment: for an audience of college level instructors and students, compose a reflective introduction for your course portfolio. Essentially, your task is to provide a well supported argument about your growth as a writer and your understanding and or achievement of the outcomes for the course. In this essay, you will apply your understanding of rhetoric and your own writing process to discuss one, the text that the portfolio contains, particularly the rhetorical choices that you made with the regard of their initial composition, the revisions that you made to them, and your reasons for including them in the portfolio. And two, your development as a writer or lack thereof, if that was your experience in E100. So, for further explanation on how to think of this assignment, refer to the context, definitions, and rationale section. So, I'm going to calm you down for a second. After your literacy narrative, you wrote this thing called a revision self-analysis, where you kind of went through and you said, here are the choices that I made. Here's the things that I did different each time. Come next Sunday, you'll do the same thing for your observation essay. You'll write another revision self-analysis. And by the time you do your third draft for your informative essay, you'll do another revision self-analysis essay, a revision self-analysis. Those are supposed to be 2 pages, 400 or 200 or 400 words or 2 pages in length. This essay is 5 to 6 pages in length. Essentially, what you're going to do is each of those revision self-analysis are your body, is your body. So your literacy narrative will be one part of your body. Your observation essay will be another part of your body, and then your informative will be your final part of your body. You use those, you kind of put them together. You're not going to slam them together. You need to blend them together a little bit so that they have a smooth transition and whatnot, and provide an introduction and conclusion to that piece. That's essentially what you're doing with this introduction. So you will have the majority of this essay already written. You just need to go back, kind of polish it up a little bit, but you already got most of it done, at least by the time that you actually start writing this portfolio introduction. Let's return to the assignment. So suggested length of for the draft is 5 to 6 pages, double space, Times New Roman 12, 1-inch margin. So about 5 to 6 pages is what we're looking for. Now, you have access to this. I'm uploading, along with this video, chapter 6 of Beyond the Blank Page, or not chapter 6, chapter 8 of Beyond the Blank Page, which has a bunch of exemplar portfolio introductions that you can use. They also include the inspiration of this, the James Kung portfolio cover letter, which is kind of the inspiration of this particular assignment. And then you have this website you can go to that also shows a portfolio. And I'm also uploading a student that scored, I think they scored a 100 on it last year. So I'm uploading their example of it. So you have a bunch of exemplar text that you can work with to help you write this particular final. So let's talk about the context and definitions rationale. To demonstrate your growth as a writer, your understanding of your composing pieces, and your appreciation of rhetorical choices, particularly your own, you will compose a portfolio of your revised and polished work. Certainly, and most important component of this presentation portfolio is a new composition, the reflective introduction, which makes an argument about what you have or have not learned over the course of the semester, as you provide an overview of your revised work and comments on the processes and feedback that have contributed to its status. So essentially, your introduction is going to be around, I have improved as a writer, I have gotten worse as a writer, or I have not improved as a writer. That is kind of like the central idea, the central thesis of this particular piece. And then you're going to use your essays to help support your proof that you improved as a writer or you didn't improve as a writer. The reflective introduction's importance in your portfolio derives from its status as a metacognitive composition, a text in which you will demonstrate that you know about what you know. Herein, you will write about your own writing, the assignment that you had, the original choices that you made, and the comments that you received, and the consequent choices that you made during the revision. This introduction of to the portfolio will indicate that you have become a reflective writer, that you can take a careful look at your own work to identify your patterns, strengths, preferences for negotiating writing tasks, and for learning new skills, for putting those skills into practice, particularly in response to the demands of different rhetorical contexts. So, hi, let's get back. I'm gonna cut back to me. There we go. Metacognition is just showing that you understand how your learning process works. You are kind of taking a step back and seeing, hey, I did grow as a writer. Hey, I did get better at this. And it is actually an important skill. Think of it similar to, I know there's a student out there watching this, hopefully, that watches film. If you've watched film as an athlete, that's essentially what you're doing here with this introduction, is you're pinpointing the things that you improved on throughout the quote unquote season, throughout the semester. So like there are certain things that you've done throughout the year that have helped you become a better writer, and you're just pinpointing those and identifying where you're weak and where you improved. It is a beneficial thing when it comes to actual like learning. Is being reflective and being metacognitive with this. There's a bunch of, like, I could throw at you a bunch of these books I have behind me right here. A bunch of these books really preach the importance of being metacognitive in your learning. And it is a vital thing. So this is actually a really good assignment when it comes to this. And not just, and I agree with this as an educator and along with all these other educators that are back here. So this is important, like being able to understand your own process, because understanding your process helps you out as a writer overall. Let's return to looking through this. Neither the process nor the substance of the text is foreign to you. You have been engaging in similar work all semester, as the material in your portfolio will indicate. In this case, you'll be applying strategies learned in each of the essays. You will reflect on your writing experiences. You'll use specific details to describe what you can observe about your writing, and you will inform your readers about your writing processes and your written work. You'll analyze and evaluate your text, and you will apply all these strategies as you will argue your growth or lack of growth over the course of the semester. Basically, you're blending all the essays together. It's a blended writing piece. You will make a judgment about your writing, which will culminate in overall self-assessment or claims about your performance. Most of all, you will likely be giving yourself a positive assessment, and you should, but the actual assessment is not as important as the text by which you convey that assessment. If you are judging yourself having performed poorly and having a minimal development or even regressed, you could compose an effective reflective introduction that clearly and powerfully argues the performance and the reasons behind it. I actually had quite a few students that struggled in this class last year due to the pandemic, not this class, but EN100, due to the pandemic. And they even pointed out that my last two essays, I regressed as a writer because I was not actively participating in academics material, and they scored well on the final portfolio for EN140. So like, it's not so if you think that if you have not done well on any of these other essays, this portfolio, you can show that, hey, I didn't, and that actually might even help. But if you did improve, they prefer you think about improving, but if you didn't improve, you could still write about and score well on this essay. All right, so let's skip ahead to the guidelines. There's a complete the essay about the introduction is involved. You provide content knowledge of understanding how these skills work. You can kind of look through all these. If you want, you have to have a title, of course. You need to present your thesis of whether you improved or you didn't. You need to develop your thesis through using logical things. So talking about each of your essays and provide enough evidence using your essay example, actual examples from the essay, appropriately attribute and cite sources. Not next week, but I think the week of I think it's the week of Thanksgiving. There's 1 week that you'll have an actual assignment that is based around this, so you'll have a better idea of how to go about doing this. And also the examples show you how to do this and be grammatical and mechanical, be free of grammatical, mechanical, or usage errors. So it's actually simple. As I said, it seems time consuming, but it really is just, you need to get it down. As mentioned, it's not being graded holistically, it's being graded using this rubric. Here's the rubric that they will be grading you on. They'll be looking at rhetorical knowledge. They'll be looking at your critical thinking and writing, your writing as a process, your grammatical and mechanical conventions, and then the construction of the portfolio, which there'll even be a lesson that shows you how to construct the portfolio itself. Don't worry about this right now. We're only talking about it because this week's what to do this week says that you need to know about it. So this is your final, this is your future. December 9th is when the finals due. So that's what you had to worry about then. But right now, you just need to focus on your informative essay, which is due this Sunday, November 15th. And on November 22nd, your third draft of your observation essay. And then make sure you do the revision self-analysis. Those are the key things that help you with this particular portfolio. As mentioned, I have chapter 8 of Beyond the Blank Page that talks about portfolios uploaded with this video that you can check out as examples of how to write this, and a student example from last semester or from last year. And then on top of all of that, you have the James Kung, which is a letter, which is the official first version of this type of essay. So that's the portfolio. That's all I got for you. We'll talk about this much more in depth over the next coming weeks, but this is just to kind of get you thinking about it. And it's not impossible. 5 to 6 pages, a lot of students go, oh no, but you've done most of the work already. This is usually one of the highest scoring assignments that people do. You just actually need to do it. I cannot stress to you enough, you need to actually just do the assignment and you should be okay. All right, if you have any questions, email me, pdavidson@portugal.k12.mo.us. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.